Hi, my name is Rochelle, and welcome to the Transformational Soul Talks. What does self-discovery or personal growth or inner growth mean to you? What comes up? What do you think of? Well, if you're interested, stay for this episode because we're going to dive deep into this conversation. My guest today grew up in California in a single parent household where she shouldered adult responsibilities from a young age as the eldest of four children. Despite the challenges of her childhood, her journey into motherhood ignited a powerful motivation to pursue higher education, ultimately culminating in the achievement of an MBA. Now, in the summer of 2021, she took a courageous leap by leaving behind her corporate job and her home in California to start a new chapter in Texas. In Texas, she worked as a national care coordinator and volunteered at a local shelter as a case manager assisting single mothers. She also worked as a remote advocate based in New York, focusing on supporting low income seniors and unhoused seniors who were on Medicare. Embracing the freedom and the flexibility of freelance work, she embarked on a path of self discovery and personal growth. Along the way, her aspirations expanded into including building global connections and inspiring others. In 2024, she founded Connect Impact Hub, an organization with a mission to end homelessness. And in the summer of 2024, she returned to her hometown, where she now advocates for and assists members of her community in getting back on their feet. Fueled by a deep sense of purpose, she dedicates herself to improving the lives of those in need, particularly when they're unserved communities. With an unwavering determination, she is on a mission to create lasting, meaningful change to inspire hope for a brighter future for all. So I want to offer a warm welcome to my wonderful guest today, Martha Lobos.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here, and I am so looking forward to our conversation today.
Yes.
It's a nice sunny day in California, so it's perfect.
You've been globe travel. Well, you've been hopping all over the place in the USA, Texas, New York, California.
Yeah, yes. And I did a road trip back to California.
Oh, wow. How was
That
that?
was that journey was quite fascinating and
Okay.
fast. And I drove very slow.
Okay. And did you have your child with you, your daughter?
hmm Yep,
Okay.
my mother joined us, my little
Okay.
fur baby, and my son came.
Oh,
And
okay.
we took the trip from Texas to California. It was long. Texas was long, the longest drive. New Mexico and Arizona were short.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just so beautiful to be able to embrace that in person than it is by the plane, because you don't really
You
see
don't
all.
get the feel of it when you go across the country. You get to see the different terrains, you embrace the different types of people in each state and how they
Mhm.
are cultivating their lives. So what a wonderful experience. It's like that similar in Canada as well when you go across country. Ours is massive. I think it takes like I'm gonna say 4 or 5 days to get from one end to not even to Vancouver. I think from one will probably take you probably a week because it's so vast. Yeah. Just to get out of Ontario, I think is a day and a half. It's that long of a drive.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
a long drive. Maybe one day I'll be able to make it out there.
Well, there's some beautiful parts of Canada. Banff and the Rocky Mountains are gorgeous. Some of the lakes are incredible. So,
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely a trip.
My,
So I have to ask this question. When we talk about self-discovery, personal growth, self-growth, that's a big thing now. It's really coming out into a lot of people. But would you say, in your personal opinion, that when this happens, is there not a little bit of mental challenge in a sense of where you're unsure of what is real, what is not real, what you can do, what's your future going to look like? Can you can you make it through the next phase? Because with self-discovery and personal growth comes a lot of mental workings where you're asking those questions that are not always positive. So, what are your thoughts on that?
what a great question. So, almost 4 years ago, when I left my hometown, I called it my self-discovery journey.
Mm,
Um, and I moved with no plan. And of course, I was looked at, is there something wrong with you? Are you going through a crisis? And me, I was just like, I don't know. I'm ready to do something out of the ordinary for once in my life and explore. And me and my son, and we got our fur baby there in Texas, uh, we explored. But I think that even made it more exciting when you jump into something without knowing what you're getting yourself into. Of course, safety always first, right? But the growth that came out of that experience, it's something that I will have for the rest of my life. Because I took that leap of faith, um, I I gained a lot of skills and knowledge.
Mhm.
And if you stay back and let fear can stop you, which I know a lot of people that will have been here in this county where I reside in for years and have never been on a plane. They're missing out on life. And so go out, even it's just exploring in the car sometimes, right? Just exploring and seeing what else is out there outside of your comfort zone
Mm.
is that's a self-discovery process in itself. So just today, I took a drive and I said, I wonder where this road's going to take me. And I didn't know where it was going to take me because I honestly have never taken that road. And was taking me up a hill. And then I said, oh, it's really going to take me deep in this. And I don't have time. But what it did, it took me up this little hill and I took a picture of the ocean.
Oh, wow.
And it was just so beautiful. It was just me in my car. And I just decided, let me just go down this road. Right. So you
Mm.
just never know where that road's going to take you. And you won't know unless you take a chance.
I think that's a great statement, but it's also something that a lot of people fear. That's massive, especially right now, because people are unsure of what our future is going to look like. And to step outside of the comfort zone, and I speak about this all the time, to grow that self-discovery, that inner growth causes us to go back into that mental challenge of going, oh, but if I do this, what could happen? Or if I take this journey, what if it doesn't work out? What if I end there and I don't get the job? And there's this whole conversation that goes on within our minds.
Right.
If someone's listening to us right now and they're at that place, what would you say to them?
Yeah. So that question, what if, right? That stands out very, very high in my brain, even in life. What if? What if that does happen? Um, what if you asked for help if that happened? And I think that's one of the hardest dilemmas a lot of us face is asking for help and where to go to ask for help. Because yes, those what ifs may become a reality. Um, but what if you did take that chance? And what if that did, if came up? What are your, where's your help, right? Finding the security. And if you don't find it, sometimes asking for help from strangers, organizations, there is a lot of help out there. It's just us. It's up to us to inquire of it. We have to put our pride to the side if that what if comes up. And
Wow.
I've learned that myself. What if? Well, if it does happen, what are you going to do?
That's powerful. And that's a great response because I think that goes through a lot of people's minds. They're like, what if, what if? And a lot of times it doesn't go down the positive road. It goes down the negative what ifs. And so as your journey over the last few years has unfolded, you've done a lot of incredible things. I mean, I got to meet you through Dina Fortune, and you at that time were doing a lot of volunteering, supporting many different people, and even in your introduction, helping people. What inspired you to begin this journey?
Yeah, you know, there's so many wonderful folks that I've seen that have lost their homes or mental health due to their circumstances of trauma or substance. Um,
Mm.
and even finding myself in a position of being called unhoused or homeless. Um, have to let that out. It's a process,
It is.
but looking at people for who they are and not being judged. I remember a family member of ours, what he grew up in the community and he became unhoused. And I think just watching that unfold from a healthy young man to becoming unhoused, so many aspects that played into that
Hmm.
led to homelessness. That just touched me in a different way. And so this person is now succeeding in life.
Oh,
He
great.
overcame and he's now on the way to becoming a counselor um,
Mm.
for other young men. So I know there is we all go through our own struggles, but there is success if you meet the right people. And so I hope that my hope is that everyone that encounters me is that I meet them where they're at, obviously, but also lead them to where they need to go and not close the door. Because there's so many closed doors and they just keep knocking and knocking and knocking. And I've seen this, I've witnessed this. I've been knocking on doors and they don't open. And when
Oh.
you do find one door that opens,
Hmm.
then you want that you want to be there because you want people to look at you like you matter, like you mean something.
Hmm.
So my inspiration is definitely humanity. God is definitely a huge part of what I'm doing. I've met people in hotels, I've met people at the park, I've met people in their cars. I i just i see them for who they are and I don't let fear get in the way.
That's incredible. That's very noble of you because it is a huge responsibility to take on that. I mean, the emotions that must go through you and through the other person when they realize that you're there to help them, and they're on their own journey, their own self-discovery. And then you show up and they have those questions reverting back to what if that door doesn't open? What if I can't get the help? What if I can't get housed again?
Yeah.
All those questions. And that seems to be plaguing a lot of society here in Canada, and I'm sure most of the globe, of the big what ifs. Is someone going to open the door to me? Now, if someone had said to you, even 6 months ago or even a year ago, what is fueling you to do this? What would you have shared with them? What would you have said?
Hmm. A year ago, 6 months ago, 6 months ago, I would say, I think about all of the folks I've connected with in all the states, and I think about how many of them cried. Almost
Mm,
all of them cried. And I looked at them as, to be honest with you, as children, hurt children that haven't felt the love uh, from people,
hmm.
acceptance and love, nurturing, compassion. And so, yeah, meeting people, loving them, and accepting them.
Accepting them for who they are and not being
Yeah.
judged. I think that's a big thing is when you meet someone, a lot of times people will judge them based on what they're wearing, what they look like, how they speak. And really, I always say, you are no better than I, and I am no better than you. We are the same. It's just our
Hmm.
circumstances are different. And our
Right.
journey on personal growth is different. But we go back to that being in service to others.
Hmm.
And this is massive.
Yeah.
Now, when you get up in the morning, what's the first thought that crosses your mind before you start your day?
Well, thanks to my LinkedIn community, right? I learned about being grateful
Mm-hmm.
uh, for looking at the roof over my head, for having a bed to sleep on, basic necessities that we sometimes may take for granted. Even having a bathroom, right? A place to use the
Mm-hmm.
restroom. That's a big one. Um, and just really, I really just thank God. I'm grateful every day. And then I'm usually searching for resources because I just am so in love with what I do to serving our community.
Yeah,
Um,
you can
I
see that
really,
it really lights you up, and that's amazing because when you love something that you do, it isn't a job. It's a passion, and that passion is massive. And I've seen and watched you over the last even probably 2 years just grow and grow and grow to where you are now and what you're doing. How would you say this has personally transformed your life?
yeah. Oh my goodness. Blessings are real.
They are.
Angels, angels are real. Um, kindness is real. Um, and love is real.
Mm, yes. Yeah. And you've experienced all those things in your life and they've transformed your life over the last little
Yes,
while. Yeah.
yes. And I just continue to pour and pour and pour. And when I was going through adversities myself, that love was returned.
Mm,
And it is real when you're out there serving and serving because you genuinely want to serve, the universe will come back and serve
yes,
you.
it will.
It is so, oh my goodness, it's a blessing. It's just a life blessing, and I don't take it for granted. Anytime I get a blessing, I turn around and give it back to those folks that need it the most. If I have food and I have too much of it, we share. We
Mm,
we we go, we acknowledge them, we smile at them. You can buy them a coffee, right? Just something simple. You don't even have to buy a coffee. Sometimes just having a conversation makes a huge difference.
I love this because I think this is so important. And I think more people need to hear about it is that when you have that energy exchange between someone, between yourself or someone else who needs that connection, because we all need that connection. And you take a moment, like you just said, to listen, to buy a cup of coffee, to listen to a story. Sometimes you'll bump into someone and they just want to tell you a story, and you take a moment to listen to it instead of pushing past them quickly and ignoring them, or taking the moment to, you know what, here, let me buy you a coffee, or let me give you a few pennies, you know what, or whatever it is, a couple of dollars.
Mhm.
Those are so important. And I feel personally that when you do that, your inner growth, your personal growth expands because the universe can see you. And I think this is something that a lot of people don't realize is that when you give back, the universe gives back to you
Yep.
so much bigger. And I know you and I have had this conversation in the audio room, I think a year and a half ago, where we
Yep.
talked, or about a year ago, where we talked about the energy. Everything is energy and energy is everything. Is that
Yep.
when you exchange that, massive things happen for you. And
Definitely.
I think and that's probably why a lot of, when people see a lot of good things happening in their life, it's because they're realizing that when they are in service to others, when they are in gratitude, when they give the love to others, the universe ultimately reciprocates.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What is next on your agenda for where you're going? Because you've got a lot on your plate, Martha.
Yes. So I am pushing for collaborations. Here in it's a small city, but we have a lot of organizations who are catering to our in-house folks. Um, we need more collaboration. And so how can we make this happen is knocking on doors, meeting with folks in person, over the phone, via email. I'm looking for all those connections because just recently I just connected with an organization who helps with car repairs. And I only found this out because one of my members shared it with me. And I think that that process of what this member did by informing me of that, I'm able to now share that resource with other members that are living in their cars that need that support. And so
Wow.
if we could all just come together and serve, right? As our mission and vision statements say, right? Everyone has their own, but really when it comes to it, to end homelessness, is us all working together, collaborating for one
Hmm.
cause, for humanity. So that is what I'm working on. 2025 is going to be a big year. I definitely anticipate a lot of folks getting housed here in the community. And also, also anticipate the same folks that are currently living out of their cars or sleeping in the parks, and spending a lot of their time here at the library. I anticipate these same folks coming out, volunteering, or even working and giving back into the community that's helped them come out of their situation. So I do hear a lot of that within the members. So that to me is just inspiring and motivating. Like, yes, we got this.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's like the trickle effect, right?
Yeah.
They start to feel the gratitude, so they want to give back. And that's
Yep.
how it just gets bigger and bigger. Where exactly are you located in California? What
Mm.
part of California are you in?
So I am up north in this county. It's Monterey, California.
Okay.
So we're about 2 hour, 2.5 hours away from San Francisco.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I was there just recently in November. I was in Altadena, Pasadena,
Oh
Santa
yeah.
Monica,
Oh,
and Burbank. Yes.
oh, okay. So you were down south.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Nice.
that's yeah.
Yes. Oh,
So I got a real lovely taste of it. I had a few friends, another podcaster, so I got to really see a lot of California that I had never seen before.
oh,
So
nice. Did you get to see the beach?
I did, the
Yay.
Santa Monica Pier, yes.
Oh, nice. That's a really nice location too. Beautiful sunsets there.
Yes. It was kind of dark by the time I got there, but it was very beautiful. So,
Oh.
and I have to commend you on this because it takes a lot to get up every day and keep that passion going because there is a lot of stuff that can really pull on our heartstrings, can really pull on our mental wellness of how we feel, where you're
Hmm.
feeling, and I'm sure you've run into this, where you see how bad it can get and you're trying to
Right.
find solutions to serve it and again like you said you get those closed doors where they're just not willing to help.
Right.
And how do you deal
Right.
with those on those days? What
Yeah, that's a great question. That's a really excellent question. I went through a difficult stage not too long ago. Um, and I found myself in a position where I had to ask for assistance to help
hmm
me get through this mountain. Because I was giving so much, I wasn't
hmm
giving enough to myself. Um,
yes.
self-love, self-love, right? Because I want to pour love into everyone else, but I wasn't pouring it into myself, my household, and I felt short. I felt like I fell really short on a lot of things. Um, and yeah, so I just I got in a really quiet place and I went away a little bit from LinkedIn to recoup. And I had some really sweet friends reach out and check up on me. And well, I wanted to just close in and deal with my own problems by myself. My friends kept knocking on the door. They kept knocking on the door and they didn't give up on me. And I just think about that and I'm like, I'm gonna keep knocking on doors and I'm gonna keep if I get no's, I'm gonna keep asking and I'm gonna keep knocking because there's so many wonderful, I mean, everyone is wonderful um members that they need that support and the love because the energy, it sucks it out of you.
I
It
imagine
really
it
does.
does. Yeah.
So now I'm here by the beach and I go on walks and I observe Mother Nature. I've learned about breathing techniques through Brenda Leese. Uh,
hmm
I've also learned PQ reps by one of my Sati. one of my real dear friends here on LinkedIn. Um, and I've also learned from everyone on, you, Dina, energy, right? The water that we drink, the food that we eat, how to just really just enjoy that time for yourself. So I am not working as much as I used to. I was working a lot, day and night, 7 days a week. That
Mm.
has cut back. I'm able to go to sleep now at a really, really good time. So yeah, it's just I'm still working on it. I'm still a work in progress. That self-love journey now.
Hmm.
I did the self-discovery journey. Now I'm on self-love journey.
That's so important, though. And I think that for anybody listening, that is so important because sometimes when we're on that self-discovery, like you said, and we're on that personal growth or self-growth, we get into that place where we push so much energy out to everybody else that we forget ourselves. And that is so important. We have to take time for ourselves to recharge, to give ourselves self-love, and then we can go back at it again. So great
Mhm.
advice for anybody who's listening because the journey can be, it can be hard at times. When we're transforming ourselves, we're transforming other lives, we're helping other people, we're helping humanity. It can be a really rocky road. So I commend you for at least admitting that and sharing that with us today because that is a hard pill to swallow. Now, if someone hears this and says, wow, I could really use some help and this woman sounds amazing, where can they find you? How can they connect with you?
Yes. So they can connect with me on LinkedIn. So my name, Martha Lobos Samaya, or Connect Impact Hub, connectimpacthub.org. We do have a website, and I can send those details to you too if you'd like. Um, and then we're also on LinkedIn, or you can send me an email at connectimpacthub@gmail.com. And that's the name of the nonprofit that was started this year
Nice.
out of Texas.
Nice. Well, I definitely will put that all in the show notes
Thank you.
because that way they can find you, they can connect with you, or maybe they want to share your information with someone else who's going through their own personal, growth, but is having challenges along the way. So before we
Yes.
wrap up, I just want to ask you if there was something you could share with our audience today, what would it be?
Yes. On my drive today, I was thinking about time, how our time is precious, right? We have a birthday every year and that birthday won't come back next year. So really embrace the time you have here
Mm.
on earth. Like really embrace every day and every birthday and just love yourself so much. And again,
So
I'm going
true.
back, yeah, self-love, always self-love. And then don't forget to look at your neighbor, check in on family and friends, especially during the holidays, when we need one another.
Wow. Thank you so much for such a powerful message because I think there's so many people out there that need to hear that as we all journey along this beautiful road of life. So I want to thank you so much for coming on here today and sharing your beautiful work and everything that you're doing. Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.